Hi, and welcome to my views and news. Welcome to this live chat session. Can you hear me, viewers? Thank you. I was on a YouTube channel, 90-minute long live chat there. Just returned from there, so feeling a little tired, a little tired. So that is why I have this cap on. Let me welcome the participants. Then, three very important news stories for you, which I'll speak on in this live chat. Daniel Abate, my long-term friend, is the first one who has joined, first one who commented today. Samuel Faleke stays in touch with me almost on daily basis. Tikim Tafira too, welcome Tikim. Ambachu A says hello Sajid. Burji Siyama says hello Sajid. Nahom Architects, good evening. Thank you Nahom Architects. Daniel says feeling cold. Yes, a little. Tikim Tafira is asking about the hat. Yeah, the cap is because I'm feeling a little cold. Peace and love. Hi, Mr. Sai. Are you okay? Yes, I'm okay. A little tired. Isfalam Tikliab says hi. Muhammad Mekashao says hi. Hussein Hibo says hello, Sajid. We missed the orange shirt. It's very cold here these days, so I cannot wear the orange shirt only. Peace and love says yes. HTT says yes, responding to my question about whether they can listen to me or not. Michael Kidane says, hi, Sajid, welcome. Fikro Adere. Nahom Yehdigo. Abdul Aziz Ibrahim. Abdul Rahman Muhammad. HTT. TE says, welcome, Sajid. We don't want you to be tired, especially in live chat. Wishing you well. You won't find me tired. Trust me. Abdul Javed Muhammad. Kefa. New name for me. Kefa. Says our hero Sajid. Ephraim Tisfai, General Komsa, Isaiah Stop Man. What does he want you to say today? I'm Isaiah Stop Man. Irmia Sabdisa says welcome. Excited Korji says hi. Barakat Kidane says I love your information. Thank you, Barakat Kidane. Barak says hello. Excited Korgi. Three main news stories for you in this live chat. Firstly, an Ethiopian cargo ship is docking at a port in Eritrea. Is it an indication of repairing of Ethiopia-Eritrea ties? Is it a breakthrough in Eritrea-Ethiopia relations? Secondly, Fano fighters entered 3 towns in the last 24 hours. We'll have a look at these 3 places. Where are they located? Thirdly, Tigray issued a statement today. Tigray government issued a statement. Gata Choreda on his official account shared the statement today. The statement is about famine, about humanitarian disaster unfolding in Tigray. Who is responsible? International community, Ethiopian government, Tigray government. Who is responsible, or Eritrea? Backfoot. Hello, Rome. Hello, Sajid. Sajid, you look like a gang. It's today, but it's a good look though. I had a little headache. That is why I wore this cap. Erethiu says Fano. Ilyas Milkiya says, I am Eritrean. Isaias is our greatest father. He is the greatest father, but children are fleeing. Children are fleeing the father. So father should ensure that children live at home and they're taken care of. Why they always are in a state of oppression. Dimessi Ukibret, today you seem great. Thank you. In 24 hours, smiling a little, I think. Beware says, how do you get news faster than Ethiopia? It's crazy. You people give me information, by the way. I can I can see several people here who are in touch with me and hundreds of others too. I have no shortage of information, by the way. When it comes to getting information, I get it very fast. I delay the sharing because I want to verify it. Nahom Yihdigo says, keep speaking the truth. Take care of your health. Thank you, Nahom. Mulugata Shifrao says, Sajid, thank you very much for your updated information you are providing. Would you give more clarification regarding future economic status of Ethiopian debt analysis? I am not an economist, so perhaps I cannot share with you the predictions, economic predictions. But uh, Ethiopia is going to be trapped in a debt trap now. Ethiopia is hoping to get a bailout package of a few billion US dollars. Once countries are trapped in this debt trap, it's very difficult for them to get out. For decades, they have to suffer. And one after the other, they get more bailout packages. Very few have managed to break this cycle of new bailout packages. And so far, no hope in Ethiopia, showing internal resources being mobilized for uh, fast economic growth. Overall, prospects are not very optimistic. Ethiopian economy is going to go through bad times. People going to go through bad times this year, next year too. Ethiopia needs some sort of big support, internal or external, not debt, not loan. Loan is not a long-term solution. It can be a short-term solution that you don't know how this loan is going to be utilized by the government. Moni has joined, my brother. How are you, Moni? Vedi Kambolcha shipped counterfeit Air Jordans on that Ethiopian ship to Massawa for our Eritrean brothers. Where is Vedi Kambolcha? Janel, are you talking about Janel Kambolcha? Ilya says it is a matter of humanity to deck Ethiopian ships. No, it's not a matter of humanity. It's business. I'll speak on that. Ajay Yimmer, I've been following the discussion you had with Mogus. It was a pleasure to see you and Mogus, the two people who are objectively covering the conflict and critical situation in Ethiopia. Yes, Mogus was very accommodating. We were live and he did not stop me from speaking. So it was a good experience being there. And we have been in touch for weeks, for months rather. It was becoming difficult for me to take some time out for this interview. But today I managed to find some time for this interview with Mogus. He's a great guy. I want to take one question, then I'll start my talk on the news stories. And that is from Tiknos. Tiknos says, Sajid, why you stress Ethiopian government more than any other government in East Africa? But Ethiopian government is trying hard, but all is blaming it. Everyone is firing on the government, but all is blaming. You're saying that why is everyone blaming the government? Who should we blame? Should we blame the people who are dying of hunger, starvation? Who should we blame? Compare the Ethiopian government with Kenyan government, Ethiopian Prime Minister and Kenyan Prime Minister. Compare Uganda and Ethiopia. Compare Rwanda and Ethiopia. And compare today's Ethiopia and the Ethiopia 2019. Ethiopian regional reach declining. Ethiopian priorities are not right. Ethiopian Prime Minister is building a palace worth billions of birds. No one knows the source of funding. Ethiopian PM wants to build the most modern army in Africa while people are dying of hunger. So, when we criticize the government, there are reasons, logic behind that. We are not against the Prime Minister, against the government, but we feel the pulse of the people and we share that. That is what we do. So we will gain nothing from the removal of Prime Minister, from criticizing Prime Minister, from reporting about Ola Fano, but we should report the truth, I think. Black Lion says, Sajid, please ignore the government cadres. Only they can care about their monthly salaries. Government people, government employees are, they're not responsible for, they're not decision makers, but they just implement decisions of those who make big decisions. In most cases, they have no free will, they have no independent decision making powers. We shouldn't blame them. Blame those who are in top positions. Let me start with the new story about Ethiopian cargo ship which has docked at a port in Eritrea. Several viewers contacted me before I started this live chat session saying, Sajid, an important development, reconciliation between Eritrea and Ethiopia. You are silent. What is happening? What is this ship carrying? Why did it arrive in Massawa? Well, just a few points I want to make about this ship. Firstly, Ethiopian Airlines is operating uh, to Asmara from Addis Ababa. No disruption so far. Why? Because definitely it's an economic activity. Ethiopia earning, Eritrea also in need of these flights. Maybe Eritrea could be considering alternatives too if Eritrea Ethiopia relations deteriorate. But so far, this flight operation is in the interest of both countries. Economic interests are being protected by the two governments, though relations are not very friendly these days. Ethiopia relations. The ship called a Sosa is an Ethiopian cargo ship which can be used by other countries too. Reportedly, maybe I'm wrong, but what I have learned is that the ship departed Djibouti's port. It is docking at Massawa port. What is it carrying? Nothing for. We heard from some Eritrean activists. They claimed the ship was carrying food aid for Tigray. One Eritrean activist claimed that a few hours ago. I could not confirm that. According to my information, the ship is not carrying aid for Tigray. Delivery of aid to Tigray through Eritrea, I don't see the possibility of it. The ship reportedly is being used by the Chinese working in Eritrea. It's carrying some raw materials for Chinese companies working in Eritrea. That is what I have learned. So it's a purely economic activity. A ship being hired by the Chinese. And why would Eritrea say no to this activity? Because in the end, Chinese will decide which ship to hire. They hired an Ethiopian ship, so Eritrea cannot object to that. That is what I have learned. So it's not a big development. It's not a breakthrough in Eritrea Ethiopia relations. I'll share an update if I receive more details. So far, that is what I have learned. Bibo Love says cargo ship food aid to Tigray, Eritrea rescuing Tigray. What is Abiy doing? No, I could not confirm that this ship is carrying food aid for Tigray. Blue Sky is talking about Taj My Ding Dong protest in the Sumai region. I think I requested you to contact me if I remember when you talked about this protest last time. Darn E is addressing Mooney. Happy New Year to Abi and Isas and to all Ethiopians, including you and your family. Yeah, a wish from Dani for Mooney. Beniam says, have you heard about the alleged new alliance between Fano and Goma's fighters, as reported by pro-Fano news outlets? Well, if you remember, these news outlets a few months ago claimed there was an alliance forming between Fano and Afars. Do you remember that? But it did not happen. Goma's Fano alliance, uh, I don't see it happen, by the way. Keeping in view the Matakel issue, some Gomes believe that Amhara groups want to annex Matakel, that they want to take control of Matakel. And some groups in Amhara do say that Matakel should be part of Amhara, and some Oromian territory should also be part of Amhara. I don't see this. You see, enter your name is saying Matakel is ours. So enter your name would be in Amhara, I think. He's not the only one. There are several others too who say that uh, that Matagal is part of Amhara and other parts too. So that is why Goma's Fano alliance not a possibility. There could be a few maybe Goma's fighters supporting Fano, but overall I don't see a big Goma's Fano alliance. Moni says, thanks D for the first time in years my new year doesn't involve alcohol. Well, good to hear that, Moni. You are a brave man, wonderful man. I mentioned you in your absence last yesterday, and I mentioned that Moni is an innocent soul, a great man. And I mentioned your complaint too, which you made to me about that donation issue. We mentioned you, we missed you in the last live chat session. Uni Musica says, Sajid, keep up the good work. Thank you, Uni Musica. Blue Sky, I'll contact you soon. Thank you, Blue Sky. I have not seen that report. Could you share that on my email? Daniel Abate, say something about yesterday's banner. Arrests continue. Yes, that was a big development because the group claimed responsibility for that banner, and Addis Ababa Social Movement. Aman is the name of the group. Obviously, government forces, government intelligence agents will try to identify the people who are part of this group, one man, a few men, or an entire uh, community behind the group. Obviously, the arrests were expected. Let's see what comes out of these arrests. Is government going to be in a position to dismantle this group? We'll see. But as I said earlier, as I said yesterday, that the uh, displaying of this banner, pamphlet distribution, flyer distribution in Addis Ababa shows that maybe if Fano managed to enter Addis Ababa one day, it would be able to get public support from here. Thank you, Muni. Beware says, could Ethiopia get debt relief debt bailout from BRICS countries, could this save Ethiopia? Debt, Ethiopia already has got some debt relief, I think, from Paris Club countries, from some other countries too. But debt suspension for a year is not a solution. It's only interest suspension, which Ethiopia got for 2 years. So in 2024, 2025, Ethiopia, 2023, 2024, Ethiopia won't have to pay interests on the loans. But then what will happen after that? After that, Ethiopia will have to pay all the interest. What Ethiopia needs is currency on very low interest rates, or sudden and quick growth, more exports, or sudden increase in remittances, sudden increase in FDI. That is what Ethiopia needs. Otherwise, loan payment rescheduling is not a long-term solution, I think. Let me speak a little about Fano viewers. The Fano fighters entered 3 towns in the last 24 hours in the Amhara region. I think government's 2 deadlines have expired. Deadlines given to Fano fighters to surrender. 1 week deadline expired, then a new 1 week deadline was announced. Both have expired so far. And around 5,000 surrendered according to government. We don't know actually how many have surrendered so far. But even if 5,000 surrendered, it does not mean that the government's call for peace to Fano fighters has achieved significant results. Total number of Fano fighters would be in tens of thousands. And we're not sure about these 5,000 too. Are they Fano fighters, or are these Amhara youths suspected of having links with Amhara Fano? It's not clear because government has not shared details. Who are these people? Where were they? Where did they lay down arms? No details, no names, pictures, video, etc. Fano fighters entered 3 towns in the last 24 hours. Firstly, the Dambicha town. Dambicha in Gurjum, between the Silam and Brimarkos. Fano fighters entered there. They remained there for some time, but I got new information this morning that Fano fighters have withdrawn from Dambicha. But their entry confirmed. For several hours they were there. Secondly, Shoarobit. Shoarobit is not their stronghold. The stronghold is Rasa. And military launched an offensive on Rasa 2 days ago. I think offensive did not succeed because Fano fighters pushed military back, and from Rasa they managed to reach Shoarobit. Rasa still under Fano control reportedly. And from Rasa they can easily move towards Shoarobit, and they entered Shoarobit. They attacked some government warehouses. They collected, they stole logistics, and they fled. Second attack. Thirdly, they entered Talili. Talili is in Ago-Avi zone. And I did a video this morning about a rift which is emerging between Ago-Avi zone leaders and Amhara regional government. The regional government is making some appointments to the Ago-Avi zone without taking Ago-Avi zone leadership on board. Ago-Avi zone governor is missing. Where is he? Is he under arrest? Is he under house arrest? No one knows, by the way. That is why there are some problems between Ago militias and ENDF in Ago-Avi zone. And Fano fighters are taking advantage of this position, and they reportedly entered Talili today. They carried out an operation there. They were there a few hours ago in Talili. And if the conflict between Fano and conflict between Ago-Avi zone and Amhara government continues, you could see Fano move deep into the Ago-Avi zone of the Amhara region. Samuel Falaka says a large number of Fano fighters already surrendered, according to government sources, on the run, and Amhara region is back to normalcy. Has it been the case? No. What is this large number of, by the way? How many? How many have surrendered so far? No details. I am updating you almost on daily basis about the people, about the situation in Amhara, the towns being attacked by Fano fighters. They carried out an assassination attempt on a former mayor in Kobo yesterday. Several attacks on police stations, prisons, to ambush attacks as well. So situation is the same almost. Someone in Amharic, I think, or Tigrinya says, "Hello, Mr. Sajid. Good to see you, brother. Welcome, brother. Is it cold in Pakistan nowadays?" Says Bentega. Yes, very cold in Pakistan these days. Samuel Tago says, "What are the conditions that government prisoners are subjected to in Eritrea? In Eritrea, there is no rule of law, basically, no independent judiciary. So, what do you expect? It means those who are prisoner are at the mercy of the government. They have no rights. No human rights organization is allowed to visit these prisons. So it means that they're suffering. It's up to the government to release them or not. If you remember, more than 2 decades ago, people were put in prisons in Eritrea. They were accused of plotting a coup, working against the country. Why? They just demanded democratic reforms in the country. They're still in prison. Some died there. No rights. Prisoners have no rights in Eritrea. And ordinary Eritreans, do they have any rights too? Right to assembly, right to speak. Do they have these rights? Abdul Qadir says, "Salam Sajid, how are you doing today?" I'm fine, Abdul Qadir. Yeni Musica, yes, cold in Pakistan. DW Ethiopia, how much of Ethiopia's FDI comes from the UAE? 30%, 50%? I'm not sure about exact number, but I think it's less than that. Easy King has joined, one of the members. Welcome, Easy King. General Comsa says Fano is surrendering in doves in Amhara and your information is incorrect. I don't agree, by the way. I just don't rely on verbal evidence. Let's see if I can verify that. And the government, which is claiming that 5,000 have surrendered, they should share the evidence first. Government should share the evidence first. Then we can talk about the situation. Blue Sky, have you heard of Mike Hawk visiting Addis Ababa? Important. Mike Hawk? I have not heard about that. Guy said, Sajid, why did you say Eritrean embassy is being provocative for sharing photo of its own ports? Well, the context matters because the ongoing tension between the two countries is about ports. Ethiopia wants access to a port in Eritrea. So the message from Eritrean embassy was symbolic. In a very diplomatic way, the Eritrean embassy made it clear that Massawa ports, other ports are part of Eritrea. I wouldn't call it provocation. I didn't say it was a provocation. I only said it was a symbolic message from Eritrean embassy in Ethiopia, symbolic message to Ethiopian Prime Minister. Okay, regarding the Prime Minister's rhetoric about access to the Red Sea. Tisfo says, hello Sajid, thank you for the awesome job that you do. Thank you for appreciating that. Music City import sings as sexual frustration. Who is suffering from the sexual frustration, music? MT, what is the government going to do about GERD Ethiopia, GERD Egypt? When will they meet for talks? Well, government of Ethiopia does not need to do anything. Egypt will have to do something. Ethiopia is building the dam, filling the dam, generating electricity. Question is, what will what will Egypt do? If Egypt does something, how will Ethiopia respond? Ethiopia is in a commanding position despite threats from Egypt, from Sudan. Ethiopia completed the fourth filling, I think. Gradually, it's elevating the dam, increasing the reservoir. So it's not facing any problems. What will Egypt do? This is the question. Ras one says, do you actually read all the comments? I cannot possibly read all the comments, but I try to read as many as I can. Almost impossible to read all the comments, all the questions, but as many as I can, I do. Beware, is the RSF winning, and what will the implication of this have on the rest of the region? I think if RSF start advancing towards Ethiopia, Eritrea, Egypt, then we could see a broader regional war unfold in Sudan. Neighboring countries will be involved there. So coming days crucial, I think, for what is happening in Sudan, for regional peace and stability. This says Egypt will hit the dam. Don't think so. Even Sudan would oppose hitting the dam. Sudan would suffer if the dam collapses, if the dam is hit. Samuel is asking about Tigray region. What did Tigray say? Okay, let me speak about Tigray. Yi Gulalio says RSF lack mass support in Sudan. Do you agree? Well, they have managed to seize large parts of Sudan, whether they have public support or not. They have weapons, they have fighters, they have outsiders helping them, so they can sweep across Sudan if there is no intervention in support of Sudanese military. Intervention from outside, I think. Dreamer DC. Hi, hello, Sajid. I hope you're doing fine. Well, I'm fine. Dreamer DC. Now, Tigray viewers, let me speak a little before we end this live chat session. Tigray issued a statement today. Tigray interim government. Gata Achoreda shared the statement on his Twitter account as well. The statement is about famine, looming famine in Tigray. Deaths from hunger, starvation going to happen. 91% of the people of Tigray are vulnerable, exposed. They could die of hunger if there is no intervention, says Tigray government. Famine aggravating the crisis in Tigray. Tigray government is asking for support. Support from Ethiopian federal government, support from international partners, support from aid agencies. Tigray government today acknowledged that it is not in a position to counter this challenge of the famine. Shortage of seasonal rains, already devastated infrastructure, and drought have led to the start of a humanitarian catastrophe in Tigray. People could die in large numbers. This is what Tigray said today. I want to say a few words about the statement from Tigray interim government. Yes, situation in Tigray is alarming. People died of hunger in Tigray a few weeks ago, in Amhara as well. And we must not forget that Tigray has not been able to implement Pretoria deal so far. Why? Because of lack of funds. Both Tigray and Ethiopian federal government, they have not been able to provide funds for demobilization, reintegration of Tigray fighters. It means that shortage of funds is one of the reasons behind non-implementation of Pretoria deal. So while Tekim is talking about how to pronounce Getachoreda's name. Yeah, I think his name is Gitachoreda. Am I right now? Gitachoreda. So Tigray is faced with multiple crises. Demobilization of Tigray fighters is one issue. Return of IDPs, another issue. Reconstruction of Tigray, another one. And now famine, drought. But one question. Is Tigray's ruling elite focused and united to take on this challenge? What has Tigray government been doing for the last 1 month or so? What has TPLF been doing? We know what they've been doing. They have been busy holding discussions about their internal political differences. Was famine agenda item number 1 at the meeting? No. EPLF fighting for its survival, fighting to be reinstated as a political party. Tigray government trying to enforce its writ. Tigray military want to be relevant to. All have been at a meeting for more than a month. And now suddenly Tigray government says that there is famine-like situation. International community is, it should discharge its moral, legal duty, Ethiopian federal government as well. What is Tigray government doing? Tigray government is not willing to give any space to opposition parties. Tigray government tortured opposition parties members in Mekelle, did not allow TPLF to hold a meeting. It does not want to see any opposition in Tigray which could challenge the government. Is this the focus which you need to bring an end to the famine and humanitarian crisis in Tigray region? Tigray elite members are fighting for political dominance. So if there is famine in Tigray, they are to blame as well. Federal government is to blame as well. How long will international community keep on feeding the people of Tigray, people of Ethiopia? Having said, yes, immediate urgent intervention is required, but international community should intervene to save the people of Tigray, but not through Tigray interim government or Ethiopian federal. Both were involved in stealing of food aid. Aid meant for poor people of Ethiopia was smuggled, sold at open markets. That is why aid was suspended. And maybe that led to worsening of humanitarian situation in Tigray. Who was responsible? Those who stole the food aid. No one has been held accountable, I think. No big names held accountable. Though USAID World Food Program said that big names were responsible for aid theft. No one held accountable. So, yes, there should be international intervention, but not through these governments. There are corrupt elements part of the governments who will once again steal the food, and the food will be sold at markets. And for the time being, TPLF, Tigray interim government, uh, Tigray military commander should join hands on one point, that is how to put an end to drought and famine, how to provide food to each and every Tigray. It should be the agenda now, from now on. Can they unite? Let's see. Geese, there is a lot of chatter about works underway to restore relations between Eritrea and Tigray and forming a new alliance against the PP government. Tell us more about. I'll do a video on that, or I'll speak on that in the live chat tomorrow. I have been hearing these claims about a northern alliance of northern forces. I'll speak on that. DW Ethiopia, does Egypt and Eritrea share military surveillance intelligence with each other regarding Ethiopia? If they are sharing that, no one should be surprised. They are natural allies now. I think whoever disagrees with Music City, he mentioned sexual frustration behind this disagreement. Lion killer, another bad hair day, Sajid. Not bad hair day, not feeling well today. That is why I just wore this cap. When will you make a video about how Abi can put pressure on Eritrea regarding Red Sea access? I worked on that, by the way, a few weeks ago. Then I could not uh, complete the work to do a video. Muni Muni says, Sajid, is Tigray going to annex Eritrea? Drum says, good evening. It was on a YouTube channel of Mogus, a journalist based in Europe, I think. With 47 minutes have passed, I think we should end this live chat session. Little tired. I spoke for around 90 minutes, 1.5 hour on that channel with Mogus, and 47 minutes here with you. Always good to be with you. But we'll speak in detail tomorrow in the next live chat session. Today we talked about the Ethiopian cargo ship, which has arrived in Eritrea. But what I have heard is that the ship was hired by Chinese companies working in Eritrea. So it has nothing to do with any improvement in Eritrea-Ethiopia relations. Then I mentioned Fano's activities. Fano fighters entered 3 towns in the last 24 hours. Shorobit in North Shore zone of Amhara, Lili in Aguavi zone of Amhara, and Dambicha in Gujum between uh, Salam and Debre Morcos. Thirdly, a statement from Tigray. Tigray wants immediate, urgent intervention by international community, by Ethiopian government to counter famine because 91% of Tigrayans are at risk. They could die of hunger. Definitely alarming situation in Tigray, but I said that Tigray government will have to take responsibility as well. Political infighting is making the people suffer. To Tigray needs unity, otherwise people will continue suffering in Tigray. See you tomorrow, viewers, again in the next live chat session. It was good to be with you. Thanks for joining. Stay blessed. Bye bye.